When you look at a neighborhood like South Dallas, East Dallas, like most cities around the country, we're dealing with an uptick in violent crime.
101 homicides as of June 1st.
When I started here in the city of Dallas, there was no question that one of the main priorities was to reduce violent crime. Crime was going this way, and we needed it to start going this way.
This is Antong Lucky, former leader of the Bloods in Dallas.
From age of 13 all the way up into prison, I had a bad idea of police. They come into our community saying our job is to manage, is to suppress, is to arrest. They come in with that mentality.
And this is Eddie Garcia, chief of police.
After the murder of George Floyd, the community's trust in police went down dramatically.
Police vehicles torched as the crowd swelled.
It's not just here in Dallas, but it's across the country.
If you really want to solve violence in community, we got to bring everyone to the table and build trust between law enforcement and community.
So they're coming together to bridge a divide that many said is impossible.
Getting the crew together and walking over to DPD for that meeting, man, I knew that the slightest twist or turn could blow this up, could kill everything that we were building up to.
If this partnership works, it could be a model for how to build the type of trust that makes our communities safer.
This is Stand Together Presents, stories, ideas, and advice from changemakers tackling our biggest challenges.
Yeah, so I grew up in this area, this Fraser Courts, East Dallas. This was an area that was kind of ravaged by drugs, gangs. That put me in direct fire with the Dallas Police Department.
So I call myself a blue-collar chief, and I didn't go to a lot of fancy schools. I mean, I learned from just being out on the street and doing the job.
Antong was arrested early in life and served 3.5 years of a 7-year prison sentence. But when he got out, he started an organization to help end gang violence.
I made a pact that I wanted to come back and help my neighborhood. Urban Specialist has been central and key to bringing young people out of gangs, even addressing the violence that we see in communities, right?
Despite huge progress, including an historic gang truce between the Dallas Bloods and Crips, in 2019, violent crime was still rising in the city.
We're not going to arrest our way into a safer Dallas, because what happens is officers go to their corner, the community goes to their corner, and then there's no one in the middle keeping our community safe. And so we can't do this on our own.
And so I realized we have to begin eroding those walls that prevent trust between law enforcement and community. So we had to make a critical decision. Getting the crew together and walking over to DPD for that meeting, man, I remember there are some questions around me in terms of what it is Antong doing with law enforcement. Is he snitching? Is he telling it on us? I was looking up saying, man, God, let this work right.
Antong came into this room being Antong, not trying to impress me or not trying to get me on his side. And quite frankly, I came in the same way.
Chief had 5 of his top brass officers, and for us, we had real OGs out of neighborhoods. And they don't trust law enforcement because law enforcement have proven over and over again that they can't be trusted. I said this to Chief, none of the interactions are good. It's always the 911 crisis moment, and usually someone is going to jail.
I recognize the fact that we need that community trust. I recognize the fact that the first time our communities see us can't be in a moment of crisis. And so we need engagement and making sure that we're partners with them, while at the same time recognizing that there's also a criminal element that is making families suffer.
And in that moment, I said, lawlessness, no matter where it's found, cannot be tolerated.
And to me, from there, I was all ears to what he had to say.
It was like the light bulb moment from Chief, because whether it's a officer with a gun and a badge or a gang member with a gun and a rag, we have to hold them accountable.
You know, nobody hates a bad cop more than a good cop. You know, I've had to terminate more officers here in 2 years than I like. I hold my people accountable because I think it's incredibly important.
And equally, it's easy to think that we are protecting the criminals, but they understand that there are certain individuals that we gotta remove in order for our communities to be safe. And that's the North Star of this relationship. Fairness, justice, accountability exist on both ends. Subsequently, you have trust.
And I think that's where the synergy really came from.
That pivotal meeting kicked off a partnership between Antong and Chief Garcia. Their first step was to visit prisons together and speak with inmates who were about to be released.
I went to Hutchings State Jail with Antong, and I gave him the message.
I want you to succeed because by you succeeding, it means Dallas is safer.
We have a reentry coalition of services to help you. We want to give you a job, want to give you resources, et cetera, et cetera. Oftentimes in the past, it's only been law enforcement delivering that message. This message, I act as a co-signer for this coalition. And in some rooms that I go in, Chief Garcia acts as a co-signer for me.
They also have monthly meetings where the community and Dallas PD work on various problems together.
All right.
We take this bottom-up approach. It's incorporating the voices of those who are affected by the problem in the solution.
It matters when you guys take those initiatives to do those things in our communities. So thank y'all so much.
It's slowly peeling back those walls, and it's allowing the community to see law enforcement as human beings. But interesting, it is allowing law enforcement to see those people in community as human beings. And that's the only thing that can solve those problems of violence in urban communities around this country.
And this partnership seems to be working. By the end of 2022, Dallas was the only top 10 city to see crime rates begin to fall.
You know, when you look at the reduction of violent crime here in the city of Dallas the last 2 years, I took a deep breath. But that's about it, because there's no rest. We have to continue to rise and grind.
Now Antong and Chief Garcia want to share the success they found in Dallas, and they're both part of a national coalition to do just that.
We're having conversations with violence interrupter organizations all across this country about this idea of truly working with law enforcement to impact our communities.
This is where we need to put the work in.
And give them the blueprint to change the conversation about violence in our communities.
But none of that would have been possible without first bridging an historical divide.
I've been talking about you all day.
The same thing,
I've been talking about you all day.
I'll give it right back.
Having these kind of conversations, they're uncomfortable. They don't feel good. You know, it's laced with biases. But until we say it, until we reveal it, then we can heal it. As a result of this partnership, you're seeing increased presence of law enforcement where they're not just showing up in a 911 crisis moment.
It's these type of partnerships that will move the needle to make Dallas one of the, if not the safest large cities in this country.
And we want to release these blooms for all of our loved ones who have passed away due to senseless violence, and with our affirmation that we're going to stand up today and do something.
Stand Together partners with changemakers tackling our biggest challenges. To see more stories, follow our channels. And to learn more about how you can partner with us, go to standtogether.org.